Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know.
It would help if I put myself on the screen. Hola, bon dia, alegria. Munson here with the Good Morning Portugal show. Yes, it is a live stream today. The podcast and the Substack. And also the Portugal Club. Where this morning, and as you can see from the name of the show, I've called it. I've been waiting a long time. I think my first inklings about this started about 40 years ago. But you have to be careful when you make proclamations and estimates or guesstimates about what's going on in the world. So I think 40 years is quite a long time to wait. And there's quite a lot of circumstantial evidence at the moment. Certainly a lot of anecdotal stuff going on, but it would appear things are changing. And my proposition that I'm sharing with you this morning, and I don't know if this is the right word, but with a celebratory live stream. Plus, additional, I have to say, Ben Austin is also joining me to teach you how to speak Portuguese. It's not all gloom and doom. In fact, it's definitely not gloom and doom. I think we are grasping a nettle at the moment, and we will remain supportive, inspiring, and practical. Carl, what are you talking about? You're rambling. Okay, let me go over to the Portugal Club, where this morning I've called it over there, and I'm going to start that ticker tape up because I'm very keen to hear what you think about this. I suspect I'm not alone in this. I think a lot of people are thinking like this, but it's kind of awkward and difficult, isn't it, to speak about it openly necessarily. So let me just read through what I've just penned for the Portugal Club members over at gmpvip.com this morning. Friday, sexta. We're putting the sex in sexta-feira. Yes, don't forget, we are learning to speak Portuguese phonetically with the great Ben Austin. I don't know, about 10 minutes or so. He's joining us on the live stream. And I'd like a few more people to be here so that they can try that out in real life, IRL with him, and try a practical lesson in learning a little bit, or a better grasp on the Portuguese language. Anyway, this is what I wrote only a few minutes ago. I'm calling it From COVID to Chaos, and I think it's safe to say we're in that transitionary period now where we've gone from, well, let me take a step back. When I arrived in 2017, it was the Portuguese paradise. My dream, my 10-year-long dream, was realized to be in Portugal. And oh, the salad days, how wonderful it was in 2017. And then a few years later, 2018, 2019, oh, something odd is happening. Yes, we're all going to be locked in our homes for a few months, and strange draconian things were happening in Portugal. But not only Portugal, it seemed that lockstep around the world, and we went into a new age, did we not, of really on the outer, this strange thing that most of us had never really experienced. And then psychologically, morally, ethically, challenged as well. Things that we hadn't had to sort of really grapple with were right up there, front and center, and we were dealing with them in our own lives. Some of us were reeling from Brexit, only to go into another issue that was going to rip friendships and families apart. And still, I think 5 years later, leaves quite the scar. However, it's time to move on. Never mind about COVID. We're moving into chaos now. And I think one of the reasons I've been emboldened this morning to talk about this is the lover spat between the useful idiots Trump and Musk, of course, over there on the other side of the Atlantic. They've had a falling out, as people suspected. The Musk, has been using his own platform, of course, which he bought for such purposes, to try and besmirch and discredit Trump. That's why the Epstein files haven't come out, isn't it? Because Trump's in them, or so Musk thinks. And Donnie's pushing back as well, saying can't understand why Elon is so upset. Well, he can't sell his electric cars, can he? With the new tax bill and all that sort of stuff. We could really get into that on an individual, specific level of what all those things mean. But to me, they are symptomatic of the chaotic period we're going into, which you could variously describe as a shift, certainly a chaos. And I'll ask Ben what chaos is in Portuguese, because I think it's the same word, funnily enough, and it's going to be the same sort of feeling wherever you are. What you can do in any choppy seas, of course, is adjust your sail. And that's exactly what I'll advise you. Or no, actually, I don't give advice. That's exactly what I will model myself and hope to inspire others to do as well. Set your sail accordingly in these chaotic times on these stormy seas, which could be called a shift, an unraveling, a collapse, or for me, my favorite word around this is a transformation. We're going from one period of humanity to another, I think. Yes, in our lifetime. Some of us have been waiting a long time for this. Others are thinking, oh no, really? I just came here for a quiet retirement. Anyway, we're about to feel this more intensely, I think, but it is not, as I said, all gloom and doom. In reality, it is an opportunity, and it is a reality, not in reality. I mean, this is a reality that's dawning upon us, I think. Bond market collapsing as a result of what's been going on progressively over many decades. It's not just Donny who's can be held up and responsible for this stuff. Certainly, he's the new clown driving the Titanic, but it was a Titanic set on a certain course nonetheless many decades ago, as I think we all kind of knew in our hearts, didn't we? But hoped it wouldn't be so. But it looks like that Titanic journey is going to be unraveling before our very eyes. Right. So what of Portugal? What about being here? That's the kind of Western global picture. I would say Portugal remains a great base to be for this this show that is going to be unfolding before our eyes. It's a good place to be eating the popcorn, you might say. And you've got to be somewhere. You've got to be somewhere. And I think Portugal is as good a place as any to be. It's no longer, like I said, the nirvana, the paradise that I first experienced when I came here. It is changing. There's no question about that. But I think it still remains a great place to be for all sorts of reasons, which I think I'll articulate further, probably on a different occasion, or in the newspaper, or at the Portugal Club here, or in my Substack blog. I don't know. It can't be held back. It's going to come out. It's going to come out somehow. I mean, and having posited that idea and basically come out with it, I feel so much better. I'm very interested to know what your views are too. And on a more prosaic and practical level, let me tell you about the weather, because whilst all of this man-made chaos is going on, the sun is still shining. It will set tonight, God willing, at 20:58. And it will be shining on the righteous in Faro. This is what I report every morning at the Portugal Club. You can sign up at gmpvip.com. The weather this morning in Faro, because we've been touring the districts courtesy of IPMA, that's the meteorological authority for Portugal. Look at that, 19 degrees. That's the low, rising to a high of 33. 0% chance of rain if you're in the Algarve today. And that's at 68 and 96 in the Fahrenheit if you need that. Yeah, and bringing it back to the chaos, although not too bad. However, I will clip a segment from how you can, let's say you're a dollar owner, or you're getting paid, or you're getting your pension in dollars and you want to buy euros. We spoke to Alistair last night from Spartan FX on the Expats Portugal Dream Team Town Hall last night, and he had a great strategy for strategizing against the chaos, basically. And their rates this morning, if you've got a dollar, it will buy you 0.87 of a euro. And if you've got a pound, it'll buy you 1.18. Both slightly down on yesterday, and the link is there if you want it to find out exactly what the rate is. Right, we'll come back to that. I'd love to hear your comments. I know we're out of the habit of live streaming. There may not be many people watching live right now because, what? Carl, stop doing this. Why is he doing it again? Oh, God, I can't be bothered to put in a message in. But it'd be great if you did put a message into the chat, or if you're seeing this later, let me know exactly what you think. And if you want to see this sort of reporting yourself, sign up at gmpvip.com or use the link that's on the screen now. I'll bring Ben on in just a moment to talk about speaking Portuguese phonetically. But first, let me just find out how you're doing. Woohoo! Look at this. There's commitment for you. Thank you, T-Duck, for that and everything else you do and have done for this wonderful endeavor. 27 months. T-Duck, a member on the YouTube channel. Bom dia, alegria, gumpers, it says he. And boa sorte to you, parabéns. Yeah, lots of love to you both there. Have a great time in your situation there. Hola, bom dia todos from Bob. Bob's here as well. Lee McGrady, being really civilized, which is quite the contrast to his appearance on the wine show earlier this week, which I was going to say you could watch that, but if you have a sensitive disposition, you won't want to hear his effing and jeffing that he was partaking in last Monday evening, unbridled as he was by a couple of bottles of white wine, his favourite. JP, I think. Morning to you, Lee, the head gardener. Mel's here. Mel, we'll get back to you. Things are warming up very nicely here in Saúde, Martinho, and the Wellbeing Project, so definitely we'll be talking to you about that soon and being in touch. Sorry, Haven't been back in touch with your very kind offer, but we will progress that. I think the spat is totally staged. This, of course, would be a view on this, wouldn't it? With the clown show over there in Washington at the moment, with Elon and Donald falling out. We thought Dynasty was a fiction TV melodrama. Well, we don't need those shows anymore. We could just watch the news and politics, can't we, for this sort of nonsense? And yes, talking of Portugal as a great base, here you go, a validation for that. There is nowhere I'd rather be. I'm with you on that. We just moved and signed a 3-year lease. Fantastic. That's what the parabéns and the boa sorte is all about there, T-Duck. Bom dia, rapaziada. We'll find out what that means from Ben as well, if you don't know already. Morning to you, JMC. Apparently, there's a protest in Lisboa against Trump's proposed birthday celebrations next weekend. Really? Come on, guys. Let's party and celebrate life. Not against some idiot over there in the United States who's nothing. Really, he can have very little to do with your life, and you could be living a beautiful life here in Portugal unless you keep stirring it up and upsetting yourself and protesting against his birthday. What a ridiculous protest. Jess, bon dia to you, Jess. And is he celebrating in Portugal? Well, who knows? He might have bought Comporta and celebrating this coming weekend. Nope, just the Americans who want to protest. Personally, I wish it would all stay in the US. Yeah, absolutely. Keep it your side. Notifications do help. Glad to be here for at least a bit. Yes, notification for the live stream. Good morning, everyone. Living in UK, dreaming of living in Portugal. Well, we're happy to help. What's that picture of there? Oh, some cards, a poker player possibly there. Rumit Samaya. It's what we do. We help inspire and support people moving to Portugal. Where have you been, Rumit? How silly to protest here. I agree with you. Bon dia, Gumpers. But some people like that sort of thing, T-Duck, don't they? And, people got to do what they got to do. I'm not saying they shouldn't. I'm just saying I won't be there. Are we ready to build strong, decentralized communities yet? Yay! When do we want them? Now! Time to pull away from controlling adults who act like naughty children. Yes, so true. Well done, Mel. Apparently at locations all over the world. Oh, my goodness. Okay, Lisboa protest. What we push back against, we get more of, in my opinion. Yes, there you go. That's Age of Aquarius thinking, not none of this old Pisces stuff. Yes, retired poker player. You see, I'm slightly psychic as well there, Rumit. Great to have you here. Let's give him a massive round of applause because it's what he deserves. And so I can take a breath and calm down a bit. You were subjected to an absolute tirade there. How are you this morning?
I'm doing most excellent. Thank you, Carl. How are you?
I'm very well. As you can see, a little bit fired up this morning. I think we've definitely moved. I'm calling it. We've officially moved from COVID to chaos. Get your popcorn. What do you think of this as a young man, of all I've said there? Does it just sound like the ramblings of an old fool?
No, not at all. I feel very privileged to be in the position that I'm in and be able to just watch everything unfold with my popcorn. Just watch the show.
Well, okay. I'm really pleased to hear that. There's a level of transcendence and objectivity in what you're talking about, because of course a lot of young people could be quite upset and scared by what's going on. I mean, to not just focus completely on the kind of sort of humorous, satirical and silly elements of it. There are some horrible things going on in the world for sure, and that could be very upsetting and even devastating to young people. But you've managed to find a healthy sort of mental health relationship by the sound of it.
Definitely. It's very easy to get all doom and gloom with all the news that's going on nowadays, and I know I'm in a position where it doesn't affect me too much. So just to be able to watch things unravel, have my popcorn, and have a bit of a laugh while I'm going at it as well.
So you don't disagree with my analysis by the sound of it. You do see something of an unraveling taking place of all we've known and held dear for the last decade. Well, you've only got a couple of decades under your belt, I think, haven't you? So, but you do sense this a big change in the world. Is that common among your peer group?
Oh yeah, definitely. We are all quite scared. We don't know how to proceed, so just sit back and laugh. Probably the best way.
You see, you're so British. I think that's quite a British response, I have to say there. It sounds like you won't be protesting on the streets of Lisbon against Donald Trump's birthday.
I think it's a great opportunity to throw a big festa, personally. I think let's get some drinks in, let's get a piñata, let's have a barbecue, do all sorts.
That's amazing. You see, you're definitely Portuguese and British, aren't you? So it's like, oh dear. Another shit show, bloody hell, what are you going to do? You're going to have a laugh about it, ain't you? Monty Python style, always look on the bright side of life.
Cheer up, Brian.
Cheer up, you old bugger. And then in comes the Portuguese bit. Festa!
Festa, woo! Someone playing the accordion.
Exactly. In comes Grandad with an accordion and a barbecue. Next time I'm back in the US, I plan to protest Portuguese bureaucracy. Yeah, stick it to the man, T-Duck. And who cares? We die laughing and with plenty of wine. Do you know, the two words that came to me this morning were die smiling. I like my new Qigong buddy here. I plan to live to 125 and die smiling. That's not a bad strategy, is it? Lead the new Ben. Lead the new. We need young people to step up and create a new society for your future. It's like, nah, it's all right.
I don't know. That's a lot of pressure.
Wine and popcorn.
Wine and popcorn for me. Thank you.
Okay, brilliant. I mean, in all seriousness, I think it would be great for you and those like you with this healthy attitude to be the lead. You can't help but be the new leaders one way or another of the future. However, just to scale it back a little bit from world domination and being the guardians of our future security,